The countdown is on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Breaking Chains.
All
Personal
right,
Growth
we are
Class.
back after that short break. Let's get back into it so we don't waste any time. Again, we are working on our abuse lesson, and we are in intimate partner abuse, which is domestic abuse. And we are at right now why people stay in an abusive relationship. The abuser may threaten or suicide or threaten to harm children, pets, or property, or even the victim if they attempt to leave. The victim may fear more severe abuse if they are caught trying to leave. So fear is one of the reasons that a person would stay in an abusive situation. Rationalization. The victim may believe they deserve the abuse, telling themselves, it's not that bad. Maybe I can do better. This is my fault. I'm going to work harder to being better. Feeling the relationship is otherwise good, other than the simple fact that I am being verbally abused, or I'm being physically abused, or I am being converse to being sexually abused, or sexually manipulated, or financially manipulated, emotionally abused. Whatever the case may be, there are some that may feel like or maybe believe that the abuser may someday stop this behavior, that, or if we change, that we can get them to treat us differently. So therefore, we try to rationalize and internalize the abuse, accepting it, making excuses for it. Financial limitations. Abusers may prevent the victim from working or controlling their financial situation, or threatening to steal their possessions, or threaten them with the inability to obtain their own possessions without them. Many victims face homelessness, or many struggle to support their children or families or themselves in many ways. So this is a manipulation tactic that may be presented to victims or potential victims when trapped in an unhealthy relationship or situation or circumstance that involves financial limitations. Cultural stigmas. The victim may be a part of a culture in which abuse is accepted, or divorce is strongly discouraged. They may risk losing friends, family, being ostracized and cast out if they speak out, if they leave, if they move against their abuser. And instead of them having a strong support system, the support system works against the wrong that is being done to them and encourages them to accept this abuse and be quiet about this abuse, especially in child abuse. What happens in this house stays in this house, not being allowed to express the danger and the fear and the problems that the child may be going through, causes very bad backfires and development issues and emotional issues into the child when it comes to safety and security and accepting. Because the manipulation of a child is preying on their ability and their growth and their understanding and their mental capacity. But when we're looking at adults and men, women, and children, and I want to say this is not excluding abuse, the possibility of abuse to men and abuse to boys, because it is very possible. And by saying that, I want to say abuse is widespread in both men and women and children as victims. If I want to tell you about the numbers between men and women, it would be 1 in every 4 women and 1 in every 7 men report experiencing some sort of abuse. Now, the numbers are extremely higher than that, but due to shame and no support system or no way to express this in a healthy manner, especially for men and women, we have been conditioned to internalize it. And when it comes to children, they're not supported, they're not helped, they are not given the proper aid. Abuse is never the victim's fault. Like I said, you are not what happened to you. What happened to you, and the abuser does not have control over you. You have the power to pick up the pieces to a better life. This is not your fault. Wrong was done to you. You deserve better. You are worth more. Domestic abuse doesn't require marriage or cohabitation. It can look differently. Friendships, relationships, situationships, opportunities, employment. Abuse doesn't discriminate by people of any race, gender, economic situation, community, commitment, or experience of life. Abuse can happen anywhere and however. So let's get into finding a path of growth. I want to talk about post-traumatic growth. This is the ability to pick up resilience within oneself after abuse. It focuses on the construct of rebuilding, accepting a situation, promoting resilience and new strengths, and recognizing that change can be possible. Some changes in self-perception, relationships, what we allow and who we allow in our life, our philosophies, our culture views. And all of this is made in response to traumatic events that we experience. These 3 broad categories can encompass 5 factors of growth relating to others, new possibilities, new strengths, spiritual change, and appreciation of life. Studies have shown that individuals who experience growth from the struggle brought about a high challenging life, brought about by high challenging life circumstances, post-traumatic growth recognizes that transcending or overcoming the adverse initial environment is both a process and an outcome. Now, in order to overcome the initial environment or the initial situation, we have to adopt an outlook of I am going to make it through this. This does not have the power over me. I will not let it break me. That pushes you into a new meaning to life. Trying to make sense out of something that was ruthless and senseless and wrong and diabolical and malice and corrupted, sick and degrading. When you think about separation or leaving relationships and marriages and things that we have put so much work into and the potential that we have poured so much of ourselves into, it can bring about a lot of changes. It can wreak havoc in our life when we're thinking about getting out. Financially, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. It can conflict our life in many ways, especially if we have children, especially if we have limited skills, especially if we have limited resources. But there is ways to recover. Emotional trauma and physical abuse, sexual abuse. It's ways to push forward and take the reins of our life and move on and develop a purpose in our pain. Not allowing it to control us in our life. Even though emotional abuse is hard to be proven in the court of law, it is still qualifies as damaging and may event and much trauma. So take care of yourself emotionally, knowing that when to draw the line, knowing when to leave, and building the proper steps within yourself to do so. Let's get in.
Hey, it's Director Dominique McGee. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification button for our next personal growth class.
All right, as we get into the final stretch in our first segment in our abuse lesson, I want to go ahead and get right into things. Now, the thing is about this is why, you see how I clap? That's how serious I mean. This is why breaking chains is here. For we are here as the bridge to betterment. If you are a victim, a survivor, or overcomer of abuse, such as human trafficking and sexual exploitation, you know of the path of trauma that you have already experienced. And if you have not, I am thankful that you are here listening to my voice, but you have experienced some form of physical abuse or verbal abuse or manipulation. Now you have the opportunity to learn and take hold of your life and learn more about the red flags that you have already experienced in your traumatic situations. You can stop now and prevent any further trauma in your life and become equipped with the proper knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to recognize, identify, and be alert in your life of the dangers and the wicked environments and possibilities around you. And if you are experiencing such situations or unsure if you are in a human trafficking situation or a domestic violence situation or a sexual exploitation situation or an emotional abuse situation, financial manipulation situation, you are in a right place to gain the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of picking up the pieces to a better life, to understanding, wait, this was not it. This is unhealthy. This is unsafe. This is not it. If you are coming out of it, this is the place of where do I begin? How do I pick up the pieces to a better life from this? How do I make sense of this? If you haven't experienced it, this is the place where you learn, okay, what is the dangers that are possible? How do I prevent myself or my family members from going through this? You gain the proper knowledge, wisdom, or understanding of self and what is possible. And that working on early trauma, working on early events of emotional and physical abuse. Working within ourselves in every stage. So experiencing a traumatic event such as molestation, rape, sexual exploitation, human trafficking, domestic violence, and so forth, and or witnessing others being hurt can be emotionally devastating for some people who don't even have the proper support systems at the time of the trauma and after the trauma. Recovery is very hard. Getting back into day-to-day life, discovering self again, what to do and how to do it, where you belong, and where to pick up the pieces and how to pick up the pieces. This is very hard to do without a proper support structure and system, without resources and connections that will surround you and crowd you with the proper love, care, and emotions that you need. And not just emotions, but equip you and empower you to start over. For some, like I said about our who don't have support systems, you can get stuck. And this pain can get stuck within our hearts, within our bodies, within our nervous system, causing health problems, long-term mental and emotional problems, relationship problems. We can slip into addiction, trying to cope, and overall going down a slippery slope which destroys us. But I don't want this. And if we are in this place, now we are at the time where we can pick up the pieces to a better life. And this is how this happens. There can be other sides to stressful life experiences. However, when we look at what research shows us, where people report psychological growth and positive psychological changes in this sector resulting from high stressful events, you discovered the purpose in your pain. And you became not a victim, but a survivor. You went from a survivor to an overcomer. And now you're a leader in what was working against you, what came to destroy you, what came to break you. Now you become, in my sense, because I'm a very spiritual person, an intercessor. You become an intervener for others, the voice. So finding growth in our path, oftentimes healing from this type of abuse and under the control of others is solely up to the person. I can talk to you till my face turns blue. You can cry, you can pray, you can stress, you can slip into addiction, you can do all of these things, but until you make an active decision to fight back, to grow again, to take life by the horns, to take your power back, to take control of your life, it is up to you. It's not a rushed process. It's a day-to-day. It's a step-by-step. And you can do this with the help of counselors, therapists, social workers, trusted friends. All of them can assist by being a support system in the time of need. Breaking chains is also a support system in the time of need, aiding in your betterment, aiding in helping you pick up the pieces to a better life, aiding in helping you build a better bridge, help you be the bridge to your betterment. That's what we are. We're the bridge, but you're on it. What are you going to do? Sorry, guys, I'm a little thirsty, but I got y'all. Okay. You need that support along your journey. But at the end of the day, once again, the responsibility is up to you. What might it look like? What does post-traumatic growth look like? What does overcoming look like? It looks different for everybody. How do you pick up the pieces? What areas of restoration are you going to see? I'm going to say new possibilities. Getting out of that brokenness, and that was all you were worth, and that was who you were. But stepping into, I am different. I am not what happened to me. Their life is not over for me. There is possibilities, and I choose to take hold of new possibilities. Relating to others. Understanding that you have been hurt on a level that you don't want anyone else to hurt on. This kind of pain can put you in an isolation state, but it also can put you in an hyper caring state. A willingness to share or a willingness not to share. A deep urge not to, because you don't know how to. Because what thing is, we have to work through it. We have to go to it and work through it. And that relies on your personal strength to overcome. Mentally, emotionally, the endurance in your spirit to push, to not let it break you, to not let it overcome you. Spiritual enhancements. Yes, that's my thing, y'all. Whatever you believe in, you going to that direction to build on yourself, going back to your belief system and your values, and using that system to elevate you, making changes in what you used to believe and being founded and rooted on your spiritual values. And appreciation of life, knowing that you are here today and that you have actually made it through such situations and that it is possible to come out of the stronghold of these situations. For those of us who may be possibly in these situations, learning that there is life after and the possibility to come out is available. As well as those who have came out, yes, the appreciation for life after when you start picking up the pieces and building a new life. As well as those who have not entered into this situation, learning how to protect yourself and your family and your loved ones from the possibility. I thank you for your time. That is it for this first segment of this. All right. As we finish up, I really want to hone in on this as my finishing notes for this first segment. When I say you are not what happened to you, I mean it. When you take the time to become aware of self, when you have the proper knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of self, who you are, what you stand on, what your values are, what your self-beliefs, what your principles are, where you draw the line. In life and even in a situation, in your personal situation, circumstances, your trials, even in the state of duress. Because I'm being honest with you guys, let me tell you, life gets to the point where, and it shouldn't. But for many of us, life gets to the point where we are in a duress situation, high stress, and we have to cross the line somewhere. We have to sacrifice in some way. We have to make decisions that we don't want to make. And some of these decisions are based on our survival because we don't have proper resources. We don't have proper services. We don't have proper support systems. So we live on a go with you know. And we take opportunities in desperation that may be harmful. We make decisions that have consequences to us and in our life. But I want to say that when we have a solid understanding, that's what personal growth is about. Getting in tune with self, having a greater awareness of self. And develop in a way where I'm not going to overstep my boundaries to love someone who is hurting me. I'm not going to allow you to come into my life and handle me and do me in a way which is not acceptable to me. If I'm not treating you that way, I do not give you the authority to come into my life and treat me that way. Nor will I take my children through it. And that goes for intimate relationships. That goes with your family. Just because they are your family, you don't have to deal with unhealthy situations and engage in unhealthy circumstances. Because your family, you are within your right to remove yourself from that. Because that's crossing boundaries. That's crossing the line. That goes against your principles, what you stand for. You don't have to accept being uncomfortable in relationships when it's not progressing in the right way. You can stand on your principles and values. And when you have a proper knowledge and understanding of what they are, you can notice the red flags and stop in your tracks and to be honest with yourself. Is this real love? Is this a real opportunity? Is this safe? Is this the best decision? Am I putting myself in trouble? Is this person coming to harm me? Does this person have the best intentions? And will this situation bring out the best outcome if I make this decision? It all comes back to us. And when we fail, and because life has failed us, because our upbringing, because our environment, because some circumstances, we can get up. And when others fail us, we can make the choice to say, I'm not going to let you break me, but I'm not going to allow you in, and I'm not going to let anyone else do that to me. I'm not going to let anyone else play that card in my life. I'm not going to go for that. That's not it. Because I know who I am. I know what I want. I know what I stand on. I know what I'm against. I know my values. I know my purpose. I know my worth. And getting to that point is working on yourself. Loving yourself, caring for yourself, driving and pushing yourself. That is the greatest feeling when you get in tune with yourself, getting closer to your spiritual beliefs and thriving in that. thriving in your purpose, thriving in your destiny. It's hard. It's a tough road. And there are many different tricks and obstacles that come along your path that will distract you, that will derail you, that work against you. So it's about acknowledging and understanding that this is possible, acknowledging and understanding the red flags when you see them, and putting forth effort to be honest with yourself, to remove yourself in situations before they get too far. No one's perfect. Things happen. We fall in love with the wrong people. But love does not look like I'm going to degrade myself or challenge my views or myself or my integrity or my worth to prove my love to you or to provide for us. That's not love. I'm not going to let you harm me and degrade me and wish bad on me. And all I offer you is love. I'm not going to let no one take advantage of my hard work, of my efforts, of what I have to offer in the name of friendship, in the name of love, in the name of companionship, in the name of business, in the name of growth, in the name of staying down, in the name of getting ahead. If it's not what it is, I'm not a part of it. And you can develop your own set of rules, your own set of boundaries, your own set of guidelines, your values, your principles, your beliefs that will lead you and protect you and stand strong in them. Taking hold of a better life is up to you. And I extend this opportunity to you. I know a lot of us carry a lot of pain, and you're like, what do I do with this? What do I do with it? Face it and use it to drive you into betterment instead of letting it break you down and control you and keeping you from advancing and your betterment. Coming back to self, once again, is personal growth, self-care, emotional intelligence, managing your stress, managing your triggers, setting the boundaries in your life, establishing who you are and what you want and the direction you want to go. And when you know that, you know the people that you let in your life and involve them in your life, you know what they produce in your life tells you their intention. Don't be so forward that you don't heed the warning signs along the way. Thank you for your time, and I thank you for this opportunity to close out with this message to you. And I just really want to give you that from my heart, because I am an overcomer and I am a survivor. I have been conversed. I have been manipulated. I have been taken for everything. I have been broken over and over and over again. And it started to stretch its hands into my family, and I had to get the strength up within myself to say, wait a minute. Oh, no, this is not it. I'm better than this. I'm worth more than this, and I'm going for that. Even if I have to take this with me, I'm going to put the pieces back together how I see fit. I'm in control of this. And I charged it with my spiritual beliefs. And I went deeper into my spiritual beliefs. And I went deeper into my self-acknowledgement and awareness and my gifts and my talents and my path. And I picked up and I said, wait, there's people behind me that need this strength, that need this encouragement, that need to be equipped to handle the pain, to understand that there is a purpose. My purpose may not be your purpose, but I'm giving an extended hand to discover your purpose. To be on the bridge to your betterment. So are you on the bridge? So let's discuss it in the next segment. We will get a little deeper into the different forms of abuse and how to recognize the signs of abuse, how to protect yourself from abuse, and so forth. I can't wait. So have a blessed rest of your day, and goodbye.
Tune in to next week's personal growth class where we are building better futures.